Okay, so now we come to the next point of gravity, the next trolley of our series of understanding these elements of the fairy tale. The first one was the individuated hero, of how now he has the ability to break. He has the ability to go back into the hole, and he has the ability to go out and face life on his own as an Aries archetype body. Then the second one was the reflection that he gets and seeing himself in the many ways dual. Now, we could have had all the elements of story structure um, already in those two, but wavelengths are about finding all these finite little tools to have fun with and play with. So the third one, the third element is going to be two-part. It's called desire, but the first step is actually motivation, which has to do with Scorpio rather than Aries. Now, Scorpio is emotion, it's water, it's fixed water, and Aries is fire, which is creativity. Now, why Scorpio is most prevalent, I think, of the Muse song, I want to satisfy your undisclosed desires. Because Scorpio energy has to do with babies and mating and sex and sexuality and the nature of an inborn movement that actually sort of kicks your butt and makes you actually have to go out and do things. Now, this Scorpio energy then finds resonance with the, the things that have been really deep um, empathically on your life, the parts of yourself that you then see. So, sex and sexuality is an inborn idea of motivation. Now, Sigmund Freud would come along and say we sublimate these desires when we go out and we say what we actually want. And we sublimate it for a way that may seem a little bit more tame. Now, this is going to be the hero's relationship to his idea of desire, which is going to now be Aries. When he has desire, he's going to go out as the individuated hero, and he's going to have some velocity and some destination, and based off of the things that he reflects, trying to align to himself, he's going to be desire driven. He's going to have an emotional motivation that's going to take him on his journey. Now, we go back and we see the individuated hero in the times now that he is broken, and now he's climbing the scales of emotion. Now, on each scale of emotion, he's going to have a different experience, which is going to be likened to a parallel reality that you only have access to when you are on that parallel reality. So this is actually, desire is a really big box that says this is going to be my experience on this wavelength, on this wavelength, on this wavelength. So see, now we have one word that enters as an element, but it breaks into two in infinite many ways. The desire now has the life of the contrast. So the hero is out there and he's living life experience, and he's going out in the world, and he has motivation and he has desire. Now, his experience of climbing through the levels of contrast are going to build a story structure. So we can also call this idea fantasy. The hero has a fantasy within them that is going to now shape the process of climbing to wherever his pot of gold energy is, and the movement, the speed of emotion is going to give him new plateaus of experience, um, which are going to be um, wonderful for him. He's going to expand to new realms that he hasn't seen before. But now the distance from where he came from. Now the Freudian idea is Oedipus and Electra. You marry your mother, you marry your father when you're younger, um, and then successively you begin to marry the people around you. You begin to understand them to the point where it becomes a sexual relationship later on that is now going to be a grander motivation. So you're going to have emotional plateaus associated with people and worlds and matrices and experiences within those matrices, and desire is going to keep climbing. So the person isn't stable. So here you have the idea of volatility, the idea of electrons looking to form their clouds and balance out. So even in the happy ever afterness of fairy tale, there is still going to be desire. From Robert Smith, The Curious CD, even if we turn more to most, we'll never satisfy the hungry ghost. And it just keeps building. It gives a platform to every day, and the same process of sexuality brings people together in marriage, and they have kids. They have little love children who walk around and then come back and expand this. But I really want to draw the divide. Fear, depression, repression, all these subjects now the character is going to morph wavelengths in and out of based on his desire and the sublimated motivations behind the desire. So a character is going to be guarded. That's kind of Cancer energy, sort of sticking within their shell. And so here you have a whole zodiac of understanding that you can relate and reflect around the idea of desire. But the finite trolley point of attraction is the character as an Aries body, as a ram, ramming forward in the world with velocity and energy and leadership of their own, has a desire, has a purpose, has a motivation behind them that is going to fuel them in a world of 7 billion people. And so each character now has a sense of personality, a sense of archetype about them that can be seen as a character in story structure by the unique paths that they begin to take. So desire actually makes them unique, and resonant reflections with the desires make patchworks of emotional resonances that I'm going to sneeze, that must have been true, that they have to move in and out of. So that desire is the third element of the story structure that I'm going to add, the finite point of attraction, that each person you know has a desire under them and it fuels their life experience.